The execution was set to take place at dawn. A cold, lifeless wind swept across the barren execution grounds of the Zolvarian Empire, where an alien girl knelt, bound in energy restraints. Her lavender skin was marred with bruises, her silver eyes defiant yet filled with quiet dread. The towering Zolvarian guards stood like statues, their weapons humming with latent energy, waiting for the final order. Around them, a crowd had gathered, Zolvarian nobles in flowing robes, merchants seeking entertainment, and warlords eager to see justice carried out. They all whispered amongst themselves, discussing the crime that had led to this moment. The girl, Lyara, had been accused of treason, of aiding rebels against the Empire. The punishment was death. A high-ranking official stepped forward, his voice booming. Lyara of the exiled house, you have been found guilty of betraying the Empire. Your life ends today. The executioner raised his weapon, an energy blade shimmering with a deadly glow. The crowd fell silent, eager for the spectacle. Then, a shadow moved. Before anyone could react, a figure in tattered black armor leaped from the rooftop above, landing between Lyara and the executioner. The ground cracked beneath the impact, and dust billowed in the air. The executioner stumbled back, eyes widening in shock. The newcomer rose slowly. A human. The sight of him sent a ripple of disbelief through the crowd. Humans were rare in this part of the galaxy, most had been pushed to the fringes, mere scavengers after the fall of their homeworld. And yet, here one stood, bold enough to interrupt an execution. His face was partially hidden behind a cracked visor, his eyes burning with defiance. A scar ran across his cheek, a testament to a life of battles. He was unarmed, yet the air around him seemed to crackle with tension. The official regained his composure, stepping forward. Who dares interfere with imperial justice? The human tilted his head slightly, his voice a low growl. Name's Kane. And I don't like watching innocent people die. Murmurs erupted through the crowd. The official sneered. She is guilty of treason. This is not your concern, human. Kane's gaze never wavered. She's innocent. And I'm not leaving without her. The executioner snarled and swung his energy blade. Kane moved like a shadow, sidestepping the deadly arc and driving his fist into the executioner's gut. The armored alien staggered back, shocked by the sheer force behind the blow. Before he could recover, Kane spun, delivering a devastating kick that sent him crashing into the sand. The Zolvarian guards hesitated, their hands gripping their weapons. Kane reached down, yanking Lyara's restraints apart with surprising ease. She looked up at him, confusion and disbelief in her silver eyes. Can you run? He asked. She nodded slowly, still stunned by his presence. Then run, Kane said, grabbing a fallen guard's weapon and turning to face the rest of the soldiers. The first shot was fired, but Kane was already moving. He ducked, rolled, and returned fire with deadly precision, taking down 3 guards in the blink of an eye. Lyara sprinted towards the alleyways, her heart pounding. The crowd scattered, panic spreading like wildfire. The officials shouted orders, but the guards hesitated, this was not a battle they had expected. Kane weaved through them like a storm, taking down anyone who dared stand in his way. Lyara reached a hoverbike parked near the execution platform. She turned to see Kane fighting off the last few guards, his movements a lethal dance of instinct and skill. For a brief moment, their eyes met. She didn't know who he was. She didn't know why he had risked everything for her. But she knew one thing, she couldn't leave him behind. With newfound resolve, she grabbed a fallen blaster and shot at the chains holding down a cargo platform. The heavy structure came crashing down, creating a barrier between Kane and the approaching reinforcements. Kane smirked and sprinted toward her. Without hesitation, he jumped onto the back of the hoverbike. Lyara hit the throttle, and they shot into the sky, weaving through the towering spires of the Zolvarian capital. Alarms blared, patrol ships took flight, but they were already too far ahead. As the city shrank behind them, Lyara finally spoke, her voice breathless. "Why did you save me?" Kane leaned back, exhaling slowly. "Because I've seen enough innocent people die." Silence stretched between them. Then, a small smile formed on her lips. "Then I suppose I owe you my life." Kane glanced at her, his expression unreadable. "Just don't waste it." The hoverbike disappeared into the clouds, leaving behind a city that would never forget the day a human defied an empire, and won.